Hey, it's laidOFF. Just real quick, I'm going to reference an inauguration speech in a former podcast. What I meant to say was a State of the Union that was delivered last year. I had recorded a podcast going back and re-examining the former president's State of the Union just to kind of get some clues as to where we were going, what they knew, when they knew what they knew. But it was corrupt, so let's know more. But I will record it soon. I will then their take, and we'll move forward. But just so you know. Okay. Enjoy, and keep swinging, folks. How you been? I know it's been a minute. Well, it doesn't seem like it, because it's the internet. So, I gotta be honest with you. I already broke a promise. I'm supposed to record every single day. I wanted to capture what it felt like for me being laid off during the pandemic to no fault of your own, simply because your job was outsourced. Having never gone through it before, I figured this would be a pretty interesting thing to record. I mean, who knows? So easy for a middle-aged white male to think his life's important. That's what the culture teaches you. You're important. And that's what, unfortunately, it seems to reward. That if you have this particular color of skin in this country, the narrative is you're important. We're all important. We're all equal. And then why are we all treated equally? Fear. That's where I'm stuck at. Fear. Everybody's been through a lot. I can't imagine. We've lost nearly, I don't even have the strength to look up the numbers, but I think it's over 400,000 people. We've lost more people from a disease, from a airborne intoxicant that happens to, from the limited research I've done, seems to really pry on those whose physical means aren't equipped to deal with it. Whether that's because they're born different, they're born quote unquote unlucky, they have a different set of tools that others were given, or they've chosen to ignore, they've chosen to not respect, they've chosen to not align, right? They've become something that they didn't enter this world as. Everyone came in, well, my belief rather, every human came in to the shared experience. Whether or not it was their choice, they're here. Some under extreme stress, some under unthinkable conditions, some pleasant, surrounded by love and affection. It's fear. That's what I've been feeling. And they say when you lose a job, it's the equivalent to killing a man, to take one's work away. And what I learned was that fear has taken over. I've never been a fearful person. I've only been afraid of understanding myself. I've only been afraid of my gifts, and I've been afraid of my limitations, but I've never been afraid to live. I've never been afraid to be myself until I was. I wasn't afraid on January 6th. I was disappointed that we used fear. This country allowed fear to fester. This country allowed to ignore fear. They allowed the fear of Where does my food come from? How does my family make rent? Where do we live? Why don't I have what my neighbor has? We allowed fear to drive our society. Now I'm in my mid-30s. Our parents used fear. They championed it, and they nearly changed this country. Their generation spoke of fear, spoke of pride, spoke of compassion, and they created fear in the system, so much so, and it backfired on them. They had no choice but to give into the fear to protect themselves, create a life, start a family, get a job, get a mortgage, go to college, all the fear that we teach each other have to do this way. I don't know, man. I sought out to make this something different. I wanted to record every single day. I wanted to capture and share just what I was going through, if not just for an existential experiment, if not just to tell myself and to show myself that I could. I wanted to start so humbly with the inauguration. I wanted to go back and relook at where we had progressed from, what fear the former sitting president wasn't addressing, what fears he was creating, what fears would shape our nation. And in my own fear, I failed at even following through on the basic of things. I have nothing but time. There's nothing stopping me from creating this. There's nothing stopping from me from trying to find an outlet, right? It used to be jumping on the whip, riding around the city, slicing up Chicago on the bike, man. I'm not, by any means, nor will I ever be, a messenger. But I enjoy being in the saddle. I like leaving it on the pavement. And I like seeing the city. So much fear, I haven't touched it. In the past 3 weeks, I haven't been on it. Haven't walked, haven't ran, haven't lifted, haven't done anything other than push-ups and sit-ups. Done the bare minimum because of fear. And that's not who I am. Complaining about yourself, it's so fucking selfish. I'm afraid where we go together. I'm afraid how we get there. I know one thing, I'm not afraid to do the work. I'm not afraid to help my neighbor. I'm not afraid to be there to answer a phone call. I'm not afraid to be there to share a story. And now I've been released from the fear that I had at losing my job. Even if I don't see it. That fear's been taken away from me. So then why am I afraid to move forward? Why am I afraid to change? Why am I afraid to adapt? Why am I afraid to push? I've played out scenarios in my mind before, if things occur, if issues arise. And in my past, I've never been afraid. I've always met challenges head on. Physical, mental, emotional, always. But not this time. Why? Maybe you're afraid. That's okay. You don't have to be. I don't have to be. It doesn't need to be how I operate my day. It doesn't need to be that consumes your thoughts. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. I have hope. I believe in this nation where I was born, where so many conquered their fears, where so many did so much to give me this life that I have here. My greatest fear is that I'm wasting it. Yet I feel powerless to change. That's the fear. Knowing I need to do more. Knowing I'm not fulfilling what I've been put here to do. Making every step that I take harder on myself. I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by compassion. I'm surrounded by very, very grounded, very strong individuals. From a former serviceman next door, countless teachers, to my type 1 diabetic wife. An emotional support system I'm not deserving of. A group of friends and compatriots that I have manifested over my life. People who have really shown me what courage, what strength, what grace is. So why the fear? What am I fearful of? Succeeding? Accomplishing? Or afraid of just beginning? I don't know anymore. I wanted to focus on the words used by a president, the words used to inspire, the words to create, the words to cultivate, the words to... And all I did was become fearful of it. I knew something would occur on January 6th. I warned anyone that would listen. I didn't know. And this is complete hyperbole. This is all speculation. So do not take this as fact. Do your research. Look at all forms of media. Don't let it consume you, but just do your research. Do you know who the Sergeant at Arms works for? Do you know what happens when you go to have a gathering of such a size in a city like DC? Do you know who you have to file permits with? To think that we were unprepared for what we witnessed is a lie. To think this nation, quote unquote, the greatest nation ever, wasn't ready for what was allowed to occur in the hopes, again, in my opinion, speculation, of using fear, as they always have. Do your research. Look again. For complicit sake, I don't know. Change is hard, but it doesn't have to be. It takes one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. I don't know why this country, in my opinion, is comfortable with fear. We almost relish in it. Even the minuscule, you know? Crossing the street without looking. Some people are feared. Let your dog off the leash outside to go potty. Some people are it's fear. Some people are afraid of dogs, and we don't respect the fear. Oh, she's friendly. As someone runs on the other side of the street. Fear. You incited fear. You induced fear in someone else because of your convenience, of your beliefs and convictions. You didn't respect and honor somebody else's existence. You didn't adhere to loving your neighbor. You don't have to know them. You just have to love them. I have nothing but time. And I have all of my gifts in front of me. I stand with my feet firmly planted on the ground, knowing that I can do anything I put my mind to. And my mind is full of fear, so I do nothing but fret. That's not what I wanted. But Maybe this is the first step out of it. Maybe this is the first attempt to tackle that fear and to deal with it. I don't want to be afraid anymore. I don't want to think of a third of our nation unemployed. I don't want to think of people going hungry every day. And they always have. It's never been a perfect system. Never had my head in the clouds. I've never thought naively about the world around me. I've always looked at it for what it is and what it wants to be. But my fear has kept me from reaching and being a part of the collaboration to achieve what it wants to be, and not subsiding into the fear to let it become what they want it to be. And it's a large they. It's not pointing sides at a color. It's not pointing signs at a belief or ideology. It's not holding up a flag. It's fear in change. It's fear in decency. It's fear in share. It's fear in strength. And that's something that, well, I stand before you on the internet, Google box in front of me, not ready to continue the words and the work from last week, or last episode rather, but to promise that I will record every day, and that I hope that I can share my own internal thoughts with you, and you'll share them with me, and we can create something from fear. I want to get back to being the hippie that doesn't care what weather it is, doesn't care what's happening outside, but finds joy, finds solace, and is at peace, giving to others, being surrounded by others, helping others, either remotely or in person. So I need to get out of the way of my fear. Not be afraid that unemployment websites don't work. 18 states have issues right now. $36 billion was lost in fraudulent claims. Fear. Fear to use an opportunity of fear to benefit someone else. Fear. Fear that the system doesn't work. Fear that there isn't relief. Fear that there isn't help coming. Fear that there isn't hope. Fear, fear, fear all day. Or I go back to the ways I used to be, and I embrace the fear and I overcome it instead of being overran by it. I hope you're not afraid. But if you are, it's okay. I want you to know it's okay. Others won't tell you that. They'll tell you to be strong and move forward and rest in it, but it's okay. You're allowed to be. Own it. Sit in it. Think on it. You'll process it how you'll process it. A good friend of mine told me, feel your feels. What I didn't know you have to do is learn. And in feeling them, I have learned. I don't want to feel this way ever again. And I hope you don't feel this way. Again, if you do, that's okay. Because whether or not you know it, whether or not you understand, whether or not you hear the message, you are the only thing stopping your fear. It's you. So stop. Or don't. That's your choice. Even when it doesn't feel like a choice. Especially when it doesn't feel like a choice. It is yours. Hard times are ahead. Are they always? Or are they just times? If you have fear to actually progress forward, to even take steps outside, to soak in the sun on a warm day in the middle of the winter in a cold city of Chicago, if you have fear to love your neighbor and love yourself, if you have fear, again, you don't get it till you get it. And I've been so fortunate to never have to get it, or never had to have to think about getting it, so. First attempt. First step to fixing a problem is admitting you have one. So, fear. That's the message of the day. Didn't mean it to be. Didn't want it to be. Wanted to inspire hope, wanted to inspire change, wanted to be strong, wanted to be resilient, wanted to rise above, wanted to overcome, wanted to give back, wanted to take away, wanted to create, wanted to propagate hope, wanted to, but instead fear. A new side of me I've never known. We always play up what we'll do when things occur. You run things through your mind. This was not the internal message we told ourselves. That's okay. The benefit that I have and the benefit that we have is we know this isn't us. And if it is you, and you know it is you, I'm here to tell you you're going to be okay. I know it's easy for me to say. I don't know your problems. I'm not here with you. I'm not in your shoes. But I am human. And you are too. Even the last little bit of you that's holding on, you don't know it. Your humanity is the only thing that will save you from fear. We're on a blue marble at an angle, spitting through the cosmos. Talk about fear. Sit for a moment and really take in that information. Take in all of the information passed on, shared knowledge through spoken word, dance, rhyme, other, from humans before you. Take a look at a city that you're in, a town that you're in, a village, wherever you live. Take a look around you. Someone else created that. Another human took their time, their hands, their gifts, and they built that. Not necessarily for you, but you are now part of it. Why would we be fearful of that? The beauty in what we've created, and what we can create, and what we will create, instead of the fear of what we're missing. We're a drop in the bucket. We're an experiment. We're babies. We're young. We're naive. This is a new way of living. This is a new way of establishing one's place in the world. And just because a source of income was removed, fear. Why? I didn't lose any of my talents. I didn't lose any of my friends. I didn't lose any of my family. I didn't lose any of my convictions. Well, direct family, direct friends, I'll put it that way. We've all lost something. And some way more than others. On that topic, if you have lost someone from the coronavirus, I am sorry. I'm not sending thoughts and prayers. I'm just telling you I'm sorry. I'm sorry they're not here. And I wish they were. But we have to honor them. We have to overcome fear for them because they were scared. They saw their fear, and hopefully they are resting. I don't know. I sound like a fucking asshole. I don't mean to. So if you'll give me time, if you'll allow me this space, if you'll share a little bit of your grace and humility with me, I'll try to share it back. I promise to have more positive than negative. I try. I will try. And I will succeed. And so will you. And we'll grow together. Because there's no other option. I'm tired of being afraid. Again, says the white male, right? I understand the hypocrisy. Believe me, it's not wasted on me. It's not wasted on me one bit. But I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of being afraid for others. I'm tired of being afraid for myself. I'm just fucking tired. So, time to get back to work. This is the first minute step. I promise I will continue. If you'll continue. I can make you that deal. I'm going to need your help. I can't do it alone. Even though we only live for ourselves. In so much that you are your keeper. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes the love of many to make one understand what love is. But if you work with me and you allow me the space to share, maybe it'll help all of us. I don't know, or it'll just be a cathartic fucking release for a white boy. I don't know. But I think we can do something. I think we can lift each other up. And this is, again, coming from the guy that always has the positive answer, always has the deep compliment, always has the bright side, right? Oh, I miss it. I gotta get back to it, because being quiet and sitting in your own thoughts ain't working anymore. Trying to replay events, trying to go back to learn from them so the mistakes don't happen again, ain't working anymore. It's time to go forward. But I'm going to need some help. I'm going to rely on some friends. I'm going to say stupid shit. I'm not going to make sense. I'm going to make sense. I'm going to ramble. I'm going to be succinct. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you're going to help. So, let's do it together. Help me overcome the fear. Help give me the strength. And I hope we can resolve and give it back to each other. I don't want it to be a one-way street. But I gotta stop being fearful of being the hippie and the artist that I am. I gotta stop running from it. It's who I was meant to be. It's what comes naturally to me. So, I will start anew. For you, for me, for us, and we'll see where we go. Thanks for giving me the time. Thanks for listening. I hope everything's okay. I hope your loved ones are safe. I hope you have food. I hope you're secure and I hope you're strong. But if you're not, it's okay. Just hold on, okay? It's gonna be okay. I know it will. Because if I can feel like it'll be okay, if I know deep down it'll be okay, even when I feel lost and I feel fearful, then you do too. Just don't forget it. Again, feel how you feel, process how you process, but let's do it together. Okay? Sound good? These are gonna get better. I promise. It's just fucking rambles. But, thanks. Thanks for being there. It means more to me than you think. It's probably going to get political for the next couple episodes, so if that ain't your thing, I understand and respect it completely, but I got to get some shit off my chest. We're going to go in the weeds. I don't mean to, but it's going to happen. That's why we call it laidOFFtopic. I should have been recording every single day. Should have been giving a barometer. Should have been helping to share what I'm going through so that someone else can share what they're going through. Maybe feel that they're not the only one out there. And I promise I'm going to keep doing it every single day, especially when emotions are high. Yeah. Well, I hope this finds you well. And, I look forward to progressing with you, if you'll allow me. Thank you. As always, be kind, be well. Love you, bitches.